Today we're going to talk about how you can enable a smart protection strategy for your organization, especially in light of today's challenges around consumerization, cloud, and cyber threat. We certainly live in interesting times. We're more connected than ever before, with now over a third of the world's population on the internet, about 2.4 billion users. And we have more information at our fingertips than we could have ever imagined. Over 1 trillion URLs are indexed by Google each day. And there's now over 665 million websites. Amazing when you consider that only 10 years ago that was about 50 million. And it's not just about finding information that's so impressive, it's about sharing information with others. So not surprisingly, there's now over 1 billion Facebook users out there. And over half of those access Facebook via a mobile device. Mobile devices have changed our world. There's over 400 million smartphones sold just last year. But it's not just that connectivity that's interesting, it's the adoption rates. It's amazing what we as consumers are doing these days. Think back to the iPod a few years ago. It revolutionized our world. In the first 2 years on the market, Apple sold over 1 million iPods. Compare that with what Apple's done with the iPad. In its first 2 years on the market, it sold over 60 million. And of course, most recently, the iPhone 5 sold out in just 3 days. Incredible adoption rates. So when you think about that impact and what that's meant to you as IT, it's really changed your landscape. I love this particular picture. This shows what the landscape has looked like over the last 35 years. And it shows all the various platforms that have been in play. Just about 15 years ago, it was really a two-horse game. You'll all remember. It was about the PC and the Mac. Now, for the first time in history, we have a mobile platform that is outselling the PC. A very complex landscape. Exciting for us as end users, but of course very complex for IT. It's really interesting when you see the impact on you as organizations and the success of businesses around the world. One of the stats that venture capitalists look at, for example, is how quickly companies can get to 1 million users. When you think back, someone like AOL took 9 years to get its first 1 million users. Facebook, only 9 months. Draw something, 9 days. Incredible rapid adoption. And all of this connectivity, all this rapid adoption has created an incredible amount of information, 2.5 quintillion bytes of data a day. That's 2 to the power of 18. And what's most interesting is that 90% of our world's information has been created in the last 2 years alone. This information has become your most strategic asset. If used properly, you can use information to identify new trends in your business, understand customer behavior, analyze opportunities, discover efficiencies, really make the right business decisions for your organization. But hidden amongst all of that information is also very sensitive information, everything from credit card information, protected health information, or what we call PHI, intellectual property, or perhaps even personally identifiable information that needs to be protected. And it's this information that cyber criminals are after. Did you know that there's one new threat created every second? And it's become an underground economy. Commercial exploit kits are used by virtually all cyber criminals. Cyber criminals can go online and basically buy the kit, the tools they need to get into your network. So it's not a surprise that 90% of organizations have active malware in the network today. What is kind of surprising is that over half are not even aware of intrusions. And why does this matter to you? Well, the most important thing is that no matter which study you read, the average cost of a data breach is in the millions. So let's take a look at what's on the mind of the CIO. What are you thinking about? What is your boss thinking about? Probably the number one goal of IT and the CIO is to empower the business, to improve business agility by providing the quick and intuitive access to the right information, tools, and applications. That's the number one goal. But at the same time, they have to sort of balance this with the need to mitigate risk, to protect that sensitive information, to maintain the brand, to comply with regulations, but also at the same time while controlling costs. So this is a very tender balance that we find ourselves in. And when we talk about empowering the business, we're really talking about all of this information getting to the business users. And to protect that information from theft and loss, it's really like getting your arms around that data, protecting that data. But this has become more challenging than ever, with key trends like consumerization. with employees bringing their own devices to work, with bringing their expectations for how they want to work, perhaps their own cloud-based applications. That is putting sensitive information at risk, effectively punching a hole through that protection that you have around your information. At the same time, IT is leveraging new and emerging technologies like cloud and virtualization, which is also putting sensitive information at risk. And all this time, we have new and sophisticated cyber threats, which are using that expended or elastic perimeter to enter your organization and also putting sensitive information at risk. It's these three challenges, consumerization, cloud and virtualization, and cyber threats, that are making it more difficult than ever to empower the business while mitigating risk.